Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We'll look at the dollar, 10-year yield, 30-year yield, precious metals, and work our way through the commodities that I follow. So let's dive in here. I'll give you my financial opinion, and we'll start with the DXY, the relative strength indicator of the dollar. And looking at this, we are basically what we've done is we've broken out of this long-term resistance line. We're using it as support at the moment. This is the long-term trend line that we've basically broken, and we're sitting on top of that pattern. We do see some momentum slowing down where the opening and closing price of the months is happening. We're losing steam in the DXY. And when we look at it, you can see that we are consolidating here. And which way is this thing going to go? It still looks good for a move higher in this consolidation period where we could potentially break to the upside. So that's really what's forming at this time. And the DXY with the increasing interest rates is being stronger than all the other currencies. The other currencies are going through a crisis. The yen, the euro, whatever else is mixed in there. Looking at the 10-year yield, we are rocketing higher here. It is breaking higher, up 2.4% on the 10-year. A little bit longer term view, we've got a new shift to an increasing interest rate environment. I knew I caught a lot of slack for that back in the day, and people are like, it's not going to break out. Well, here we are breaking out. And it's looking real strong for a move higher still. TLT, which is bond prices, getting smoked to the downside. Lots of selling pressure. That's where the yields are going up. They're inversely correlated, which means bond prices going down is yields going up. So people are running away from bonds and yields are moving higher. Would I jump in front of this train? I would not. There's too much momentum behind it. 30-year yields, TYX, continuing higher. That means that the 10-year and 30-year, the whole curve is shifting higher. And inflation is still out there. It's alive and well, and the bond markets are selling off. Now, the question is, are we going to have a problem in the bond markets with this type of sell-off? And tomorrow, I'll release a video using some Twitter information on that. But it sure looks like we've got some strong selling pressure in bond markets. Could this create a crisis of some sort in bonds? It could. It could. That's where I'll end it. And if they try to save the bond market, it's going to transfer that pressure into currencies. So I think that precious metals are an excellent spot to be looking. And we're seeing that the physical's getting eaten up quite a bit. The TYX to TNX is basically flat, 0.2%. They both went up roughly the same today. I mean, 10-year went up a little bit more, but we are at a very low level. So when we look at this from a long-term perspective, what I'll say is, it's good to buy gold when it's down here and low, like 2000 or 2006. And you want to ride it until it gets high, like 2011, 2012. And that's where you see the pivots. So we are at a very low level. Usually when we see the curve uninvert, and I don't know if we're necessarily going to see that in the short term, but when it does uninvert, I think that we usually see buying pressure in gold and silver and other precious metals. So, and also keep in mind, though, that this is under an environment, an 80-year environment. This environment that we've been in back here, this whole chart has been in a disinflationary environment. So going forward, things may change and look different and may invalidate this correlation. So just, keep that in mind. The CRB index is basically flat today, up 0.14%. So nothing too ridiculous there. We're basically moving sideways. We could see a turn on higher here. Gold flat, which is good. We're back to that base level. We want to see some buying pressure here. We want to throw in a fat candlestick to the upside. We gap lower and we fight through up, showing there's a lot of buying pressure. The physical metals are being drained off the inventories of the COMEX. So right now, paper versus physical. The physical will win in the end. But right now, paper prices still heading a little bit lower. Silver right at support. I like silver right here. That's me. And a couple of the companies look pretty good. We also are seeing platinum. My boy, platinum. Heck yeah, man. This is getting some buying pressure. Big bullish engulfing today. This looks good to go higher. If we back out, it looks really good for a potential move to the upside here. It's a pattern on top of a pattern. So it's double patterned out. So that's looking fantastic, looking really good there. XAU to gold ratio, the gold and silver mining companies are outperforming today at least, but we're still in this kind of megaphone pattern bopping around. And we have not broken key critical levels for the long-term trend where I can confidently say that the gold and silver miners are on a path to heaven, so to speak. SILJ, we're right on support. I do like right where it's at, and we're right on support. If silver gets a little bit of a drive here and starts heading higher, I think some of our silver mining companies could really take off. And then we got GDX. It's also at a support area. Again, a bunch of support all previously through here. I like this area where it's at. If you guys are precious metals bulls, look for buying pressure. I don't know if I'd buy at this exact moment, up to you on what you want to do, but I'd be looking for pressure. If the pressure comes in, that's when I would get really bullish. Looking at crude oil basically flat today, up 0.5%. We could bop around here for a little bit. We could even come back and do a retest in the low 80s, upper 70s. But I still think this winter coming up, we're still probably a month away. We're reducing the Strategic Petroleum Reserve releases. I think we're getting real close to a move higher in oil. I don't want to say that this is necessarily the bottom of the bottom. We'll see what happens. We do have a little wick at the top here, so we might come back one last time before heading higher, but we're getting close. Natural gas also shedding off a little bit of price here, down 2.34%. But we do have support below us at $4.80. It is possible to get down there. We are coming into a good amount of support. So we'll see if we get down there, but I'm looking for a turn at some point here over this next back half of this month, early next month. I'm looking for a turn, and there's going to be opportunities there. XOP, we've got, I'll draw some stuff in here just to show you what I'm seeing. Here's our uptrend line. And we're coming up to that resistance line that we've got right here. We're getting selling pressure today. And we do have a bearish piercing, which means it could be a reversal pattern. We could loop down, or the buyers come in here and just force us higher, highly dependent on what the price of crude is going to do here. I can't tell you what exactly it's going to do in the short term, but looking at this, it could go either way. And if crude goes higher, I think we're heading higher. If crude goes lower, I think we'll get a little kind of loop in here where we'll loop it again. Looking at OIH, the energy service companies, a spot that I really like. Slightly higher today, momentum sideways at best. And again, we're trying to break out of this long-term downtrend. We're peeking our head out. We got to close. See if it can close here. We got to close above this trend line. We want to close above it. And this is on a monthly candlestick. So we want to close above it, get up on top of it, and use it as support. But it's looking good right now in the weekly candlestick. Pretty strong. I like the way this thing looks. Energy service companies looks really good. Uranium, I think this is a day delayed. This is the future pricing of uranium. It's looking fantastic for a move higher. Looking really good. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. It's just moving sideways. Still looks good. Nothing broken. And I think it's a inverted head and shoulders that could be playing out. And we're at that neckline right now trying to break. So that looks really good from that perspective. Uranium, it's just chilling out, going sideways today. And we're trying to break this little downtrend going on. We're right at it. It's waiting for the launch, for launch mode to be engaged. And then Camco's sitting right on support. We'll see where that goes as well. Not much to really say there. We're still within, the support line, so it's all good. TAN, a little bit of selling pressure. Are we going to bottom out here? That's tough to say. We could go all the way back down to $49 to that big long-term support level. I think that's highly likely. We could see further downside in TAN and some of these solar stocks. They're very sensitive to interest rates. They don't make a lot of cash flow or money. So they borrow a lot of money, and the commodities they sell do. I mean, if the commodity prices go down, I think TAN will do well. If commodity prices go up, it will be pressures on their margins. So that's TAN there. COPX, which is the copper fund, we're back at that support level. It doesn't look bad. Doesn't look, it looks all right. I'd like to see some buying pressure. We got a bullish engulfing there. So we're kind of just moving sideways at this time with the overall markets. CRB to the S&P 500, up 2%. That's always good to see an up movement, but it does look like we're almost double top, and we'll see what happens. I'm looking at those lows, kind of like a roundish type bottom. Smiley face. We'll see where we go there on the ratio. Rare earth metals ETF, we're still at that support line. It's a big long-term support line that we're at, going across horizontally, and we're right on top of it. Lithium, another one that's trying to figure out where it's going to go. It's right at support here. And I don't see too much selling pressure, but I don't see a lot of buying pressure. Kind of indifferent on it on the moment. The overall markets, they don't look bad. We've got this nice big buying pressure day, and the sellers haven't womped it yet. So, but it's not getting any help from yields. Yields are holding this thing down. So in the face of what yields are doing, the S&P 500 and the U.S. Composite Index are actually holding up quite well. Same with U.S. Composite Index. They are holding up quite well for how much yields are moving. EEM, slightly weaker dollar, slightly weaker or slightly higher emerging markets. We got that nice big bullish engulfing. Not much selling pressure down here. Still looks pretty good for a potential turn, and we'll see if we can get some buyers in here. XHB does not like that increasing interest rate. It's getting hit to the downside, the home builders. Weirdly, lumber is heading higher. It's broken out of its pattern here, heading to the upside. It looks strong, as weird as that is. Home builders down, lumber up. Maybe the margins are just getting compressed a little bit. Nickel remaining quite resilient. So that's looking just moving sideways there. Palladium's up. But again, I look at this from a bearish perspective. Platinum bullish, palladium more bearish. We've got cocoa futures moving sideways. Let's kind of zoom in on it. Get the daily candlesticks. It looks more bearish from a long-term perspective, though. When I was looking at it there, let's back up and look at that. Oh yeah, I got it. There we go. It's on support there. We've got wheat. Again, I think this is in a consolidation period where it's going to consolidate for a little while, moving sideways there. Soybeans, let's take a longer term, bigger picture view on it. We've broken out of this long-term resistance line, back test, and then we're looking to head higher. Short term, though, there's a lot of selling pressure here. We'll see what happens. Corn, this looks like it wants to go lower from a big picture view where we could roll over. It looks good on the short term, though. We got some buying pressure, bullish engulfing. That usually heads higher. Copper, getting some buying pressure today. We're just moving sideways still. No clear direction. Doesn't know what to do. Mu, also moving sideways. Tough one to say. It's broken the downtrend coming up. I would say we could potentially move higher in it. And then aluminum, again, just right at support on aluminum. And then we've got Baltic Dry Index right at support as well. So a lot at support levels. The markets are highly, they're difficult right now. Definitely difficult. No clear direction. Things are just moving sideways in an undecided fashion. We've got interest rates just rocketing higher. Bond prices getting sold hard. We've got precious metals. They don't look that bad. I like precious metals the way they look in terms of the charting, the candlesticks. Silver and platinum looking the best. Gold looking. It needs to break some down. It needs to break its downtrend for me to get really bullish on gold. But silver's at its support level. It's throwing in some larger candlesticks. The downside's not too bad in terms of the selling pressures. Oil, it's broken its downtrend line. It just needs the buyers to step in here. Are they going to release more strategic petroleum reserve releases? Who knows? I mean, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. He's just using it as a tool to get elected. I don't know. I think it's fairly obvious to me, but natural gas still needs to find a bottom. It's still heading a little bit lower. We're trying to find support. So that's what I've got for today, guys. If you guys have any interest in signing up to the membership, Platinum membership, definitely sign up. Check it out. And then we've got the question and answer session Sunday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Don't miss it. And that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.